Hey guys, before the video starts, like and subscribe for more content, okay? Thanks, have a good one, ring that bell, and enjoy the video. Well, how you guys doing? It's your boy, back with some more tokusatsu content. Anyway, you read the title of this video, Worst Riders Ever. I'm literally putting out the Worst Kamen Riders Ever, and starting off this video, we're starting off with Kenzan from Kamen Rider Saber. So what do I say about Kenzan, honestly, that makes him one of the worst riders ever? Well, I have 3 qualifications for worst riders. One is importance to story. You know, how are they important to the story and the characters and overall plot of the entire series? 2 is appearance and personality. How they look, how they act. Okay, pretty simple, cool stuff. How's their rider form look? Awesome, cool, crap, who knows? And 3, powers and ability. How strong are they? What can they do? Are they versatile? That sort of stuff. Those are the 3 requirements and criteria that I like to pick out to see who is the worst rider of said series. And yeah, Kenzan's on that list. Alright, here's the thing. Right? Kenzan, when it comes to the importance of the story, he's not really important. Honestly, if you can pick another writer other than Kenzan, he would have done a way better job. He or she would have done a better job, honestly. Kenzan's whole entire shtick for the whole series, or majority of it, was might makes right. He literally just fights people. That's his whole thing. That's all he wants to do. That's all he knows. He's an 18-year-old fool who acts like he's 10 years old, and all he does is fight. He goes, I don't care about the world ending. I don't care about the people getting messed up. I don't care about these people I'm working with. All I do is want to fight. I mean, like, the majority of the series, he just does his job to take out all of the freaking monsters in Kamen Rider Saber, right? And then midway through the series, like almost midpoint, right, he starts having slight development. I say slight development because he barely gets any development until the end of the series again later on, by the way. So, like, spoiler alert, somebody defects from the good rider team and becomes an enemy. Right? This shakes Kenzan to his very core. Now, he still really doesn't know what's going on, so he still just goes by what the organization that they work for, Sword of Logos, is doing. And Sword of Logos goes, okay, we gotta hunt down this person. Okay, cool. Then later on, they said, oh, you gotta hunt down the main hero, Saber. He's like, okay, I'm gonna do it. Heck, he doesn't really even like Saber, so he's totally fine with it. And then later on, when, you know, turns out the Sword of Logos may or may not be a benevolent organization, they actually might be corrupt from the inside, you know, he kind of gets confused, kind of gets messed up, and then he gets beat up by the person he trusted who defected from their organization, who became the traitor. So, like, he gets really messed up inside, and then he just goes off on his own, right? During this time, I'm like, okay, he's gonna go off on his own, he's gonna do the wandering swordsman thing. That's great, that's fine. Totally cool for him. Let's see what kind of developments happen for him, you know, because he's still a kid, honestly, mentally inside. So he's gonna freaking mature now due to the fact that he's on his own, dealing with monsters and also dealing with the organization, Sword of Logos, as enemies as well, frenemies. And then he ends up meeting with Disaster. Now, Disaster is one of the monsters in the series who has his own thing. He has his own mentality. He's not a mindless monster. He was created just to fight and destroy things, but Disaster is more quirky on his own, you know? He ends up following around Kenzan, Ren Akimichi, his real name is, and then, like, they end up becoming friends, surprisingly. It's because of the fact that Disaster thinks that Ren is the same as him, and Kenzan goes, yeah, you are kind of the same as me, but he's also annoyed by him at the same time, but they tolerate each other, right? And so the majority of the series, they're not really there, you know, once in a while you'll see them, like, but then, like, they're not really there doing anything. Not until the end, where Disaster, right, starts dying because his existence is unique and due to complications of him existing and also him getting severely injured, he starts dying. Now, up until this point, him and Ren have been just buddying along, you know, fighting each other and then fighting people, alright? Trying to get their butt beat later on and stuff like that. Now, in a truly, I think, mature moment for Ren, for Kamen Rider Kenzan, him and Disaster have a final fight because he knows that Disaster is dying, and Disaster attacks him and goes, I want to fight you before I die. They have the big fight, and Ren takes this very seriously. Honestly, this is the most mature he's ever been. Every other situation, like, if he's gonna do something, he's been kiddish, childish. Even when there's like, oh, the fate of the world is about to be, like, everything's been destroyed, he's like, I don't really care. I don't care about Saber. I don't care about y'all. I just want to fight. Might makes right. The strongest one is the most one is right. Okay. But during Disaster, he's having, like, thoughts Like, he doesn't want to hurt his friend, he doesn't want to kill his friend, but Disaster's is like, you're gonna fight me or I'm gonna destroy you. They fight, do the thing, Disaster dies, they have a real good fight. But then Ren's like, I don't want you to die, and then Disaster's like, I was already dying, man. You know, thank you very much for like entertaining me for one last time. Like, you are my friend. Then he dies, and it really sucks. And he takes Disaster's like special book that he has, right? And then takes it with him, and then later on gets a second sword with him in order to basically fight off all the bad guys in the end. Heck, in the end of the series, he ends up fighting and defeating one of the sages, right? One of these really strong swordsmen in the, you know, Sword of Logos organization. They've been resurrected and become like weird zombie creatures that essentially they're fighting, right? For the bad guys. He defeats one of them using Disaster's book's power and his own skills. So I will give him that. At the end, he does something important. He kills one of the sages because, you know, save the day. But majority of the series, honestly, he doesn't really matter. And it wouldn't be too much of a thought to say that someone else could replace him in story-wise. Now, appearance-wise. Ren's appearance, Kenzan's appearance, is alright. His civilian attire when he's outside of his rider form, it's literally just the black leather trench coat kind of thing with the collar, like standard, like kind of like soldier type uniform, wandering swordsman type stuff. His sword sling on his back and everything like that. Short haircut, fresh faced young man. That's cool, whatever. But for his rider form, I actually really like his rider form. It's a lightweight ninja form, right? It doesn't really have any armor around the freaking arms, and the legs are light on armor too. It only really has armor on the chest piece. And then the visor is actually pretty cool. It's kind of like some kind of blade hashtag on his face. I really like his design. All the greens, light greens, and yellows inside of it. Now, like, it symbolizes, of course, that he uses the book, the Saratobi Ninja book, which is the power of the ninja, and he does all sorts of ninja flips and ninjutsu and agility toward that, and his appearance says otherwise, of course. Personality, he's a bratty kid, man. Like I've said before during the plot relevant stuff, the dude just doesn't care about anything else other than himself and fighting. Like, the two other things honestly he does care about, now that I think about it, is Kento, the swordsman who betrays the Swords of Logos later on. He has a big man crush on Kento. Like, anything consistent Kento, he's basically like, Kento, please, come on, we're best friends, man. And Kento beats his butt, and he's just like butthurt all the whole time. And then the other person he really cares about is Disaster, where Disaster is literally like his best friend next to Kento. That's literally it, you know. Disaster is literally his buddy. He's like, you understand me. Might makes right. The one who wins is the strongest, and the one who's right. He's like, yeah, I just want to fight you, dude. That's it. That's literally his whole personality, you know. At the end of the series, he does mature a bit. I will give him that, where he's all like, okay, I know what I want to do. I want to try to become stronger, and maybe I also care about defending people because that's my job, but I truly want to be stronger on my own. But like subsequent like stuff afterward, right? You don't really see him do any cool stuff later on anymore. He just wants to fight and do things other than just fighting, you know? That's it. So like, yeah, the personality and appearance wise, he's fine. His personality is not the best, and his appearance is honestly the best thing about him. Now we come to powers, abilities, and skills. What can Kenzan do? Well, Kenzan can do wind techniques, as in his name. He is a wind ninja. He has the ability to control and manipulate the winds to make himself faster, hit more, able to dodge, use wind blasts, and also wind shield. That's all he has. He has no additional form. Okay, his Wonder Ride book that he uses to power up, the one that's literally like made for his sacred sword, his green wind sword, right, is the Three Little Pigs book. With it, he can summon 3 little ninja pigs to basically back him up. Also, he can switch between straw mode, wood mode, and brick mode, which basically lessens or heightens his defense and attack depending on how he uses it. So that's basically it. That's all he really has. He used like the Jack and the Beanstalk power up one time lent to him by Genbu, so it's not really his, but when he used it, he ended up freaking making giant beanstalks and also like vines and everything like that. That was cool. But other than that, he doesn't really have any other power-ups. He has a temporary power-up at the end of the series. The end of the series it has him using the Falchion's blade, Kamen Rider Falchion's sword, right? He ends up dual wielding the sword of nothingness and ruin, and then using Disaster's book when he kills Disaster for one final attack against one of the sages. When he does that, he literally creates like blades of Disaster that come out of the ground and essentially block the path of said sage all around him, and then he goes around and spins around and quickens around the target, takes all the swords and hits him with it and everything like that, and the final motion summons a clone apparition of Disaster to take out the sage. And then he did. So yeah, he did something cool. He got stronger by the end of the series to take out a sage by himself. He had help from other people, of course, but ultimately he's the one who did the final blow. But yeah, he doesn't get any other forms other than that. He has his basic form and like 2 books, you know, technically 3, but the third one got destroyed as soon as he used it, and the other book was lent to him by Genbu, so he only has 1. So when it comes to powers, abilities wise, the man only has very few, and he doesn't even get an upgrade. Heck, in the new Kamen Rider Outsiders episode where he has him and Disaster again, he doesn't get an upgrade. I honestly thought he would have combined with Disaster, the power book of Disaster, right? At the end of the series. Have some kind of thing like in Drive where it's literally like mock chaser kind of situation, right? Maybe he gets some armor pieces of Disaster on himself and then fights the sage. But nah, just a temporary power up and then it just goes away, blows in the wind, just like his power. But yeah, that's all I got on Kamen Rider Kenzan. This is why he's one of the worst riders in Kamen Rider ever. Like, he had potential. I saw that he had potential, but the writers of the series didn't really know what to do with him toward the middle and the end. They're just like, alright, we're gonna write this hot-headed young youth in, and we don't know what to do with him. Let's just have him pal around with one of the monsters, I guess. And then have him taking a sage later on, taken out, and then his friend dies, and he's just gonna go on a lonely path of a swordsman. That's about it. They didn't really have a plan, not for all the other writers they had a plan for at least, but not for Kenzan. He was just wasted potential. Anyway, that's been Worst Riders Ever. Tune in next time where I bash on another writer from another series you probably like, and one that I probably like too. See ya, have a good one, enjoy your day.